Kính thưa quý đồng hương, hôm nay đại diện cho cộng đồng người Việt tự do tại Wollongong, chúng tôi đến nghĩa trang Timia tại Pitton để tham dự một cái buổi lễ truy điệu dành cho tử sĩ tên là Thomson. Đây là mộ của ông ta. Tử sĩ Thomson đã đến Việt Nam và chiến đấu chống lại Cộng sản Bắc Việt, và thật là đau buồn là ông đã hy sinh trong trận chiến năm 1968 tại Phước Tuy. Mặc dù 56 năm đã trôi qua, nhưng mà hàng năm vào cái ngày tưởng niệm ông qua đời, hy sinh tại Việt Nam, thì gia đình của ông tụ tập lại đây để mà cầu nguyện và dâng những lời chia sẻ cùng với thân nhân. Hôm nay chúng tôi được mời đến tham dự cái buổi lễ này. Chúng tôi rất là xúc động. Một người thanh niên vào cái độ tuổi 21, 22 tuổi thôi, với một cái tương lai sáng rỡ tại nước Úc này, nhưng mà đã bỏ đi tất cả để đến Việt Nam để chiến đấu, bảo vệ tự do và dân chủ cho chúng ta. Những người bạn cùng lứa với ông, cùng thời đó, đã có một cái tương lai khác hơn. Họ có gia đình, có mái ấm, có con, có cháu. Nhưng mà ông Ian đã quyết định đi tham chiến tại Việt Nam. Và cái sự hy sinh của ông đối với chúng tôi mãi mãi, chúng tôi sẽ không bao giờ quên. Ông và 523 đồng đội của ông, người Úc, đã hy sinh tại chiến trường Việt Nam. Cho dù bao nhiêu năm nữa trôi qua, người Việt Nam chúng ta phải có bổn phận luôn luôn nhớ đến họ, và không bao giờ chúng ta quên đi cái sự hy sinh của họ. Chúng tôi xin chia sẻ là ngày hôm nay có gần 50 người đến tham dự cái buổi lễ tưởng niệm này. Thi xác của ông đã được đem về đây và được chôn tại đây. Ở đây có một cái câu của Bộ Quốc phòng Úc là cái mộ này không được dời đi nếu mà không có sự cho phép của Bộ Quốc phòng. Và kế bên đây là cha mẹ của ông, và sau lưng ông là bà con, chú bác của ông nằm gần đây hết. Cái nghĩa trang này khi chúng ta bước vào, chúng ta cảm thấy có một cái sự gì đó rất là thiêng liêng. Trên những cái ngôi mộ của những cái người đi chiến trường đều có một cái cờ này, nhất là sắp gần đến lễ Anzac Day nữa. Thì khi chúng tôi đến đây ngày hôm nay, chúng tôi có làm một cái buổi lễ truy điệu là chúng ta thắp nhang. Chúng tôi tin rằng với những cái nén nhang lòng chúng ta thắp ngày hôm nay sẽ cầu nguyện cho linh hồn của ông Thomson được siêu thoát nơi một miền đất nào đó. Với cái lòng thành của chúng tôi và những người hiện diện ngày hôm nay, chúng tôi cầu xin cho ông được an nghỉ ngàn thu, và mãi mãi chúng tôi cũng nói cho gia đình ông biết rằng là cộng đồng Việt Nam chúng ta ở Úc và trên toàn thế giới luôn luôn khắc ghi trong tâm khảm lòng biết ơn sâu xa đối với ông và gia đình của ông. Cho dù nhiều năm nữa trôi qua, mãi mãi chúng ta không bao giờ quên. Và một người hậu vệ, chúng tôi sinh vào cái năm mà ông hy sinh, thì 56 năm đã trôi qua. Chúng tôi cảm thấy rất là xúc động. Mình là người Việt Nam, mà mình được những người Úc từ một cái miền đất rất xa xôi, không hề biết đến nước Việt Nam là như thế nào, mà họ đã hy sinh cuộc sống của họ, cuộc đời của họ. Chúng tôi đến đây đại diện cho cộng đồng Việt Nam chúng ta để thắp lên nén nhang lòng và nói lên lời cảm tạ đối với ông và gia đình của ông. Ngày nào chúng ta còn sống, chúng ta cũng nên nói lên lời cảm ơn đối với những người đã nằm xuống cho cuộc chiến của Việt Nam của chúng ta. Mãi mãi chúng ta không bao giờ quên.
I am sailing home again, across the sea. I am sailing stormy waters to be near you, to be free. I am flying like a bird across the sky. I am flying to be free. Can you hear me? Can't you hear me? Through the dark night, far away, I am dying, forever crying, to be with you. Who can say? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Through the dark night, far away, I am dying, forever crying, to be with you. Who can say? We are sailing, we are sailing home again, across the sea. We are sailing stormy waters, to be near you, to be free. Oh Lord, to be near you, to be free. Oh Lord, to be near you, to be free. Oh my Lord, to be near you, to be free.
Thank you, Erna. Would you like to come in towards Teresa and take an incense stick for each and every one of you and place it in the urn, please? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for making the effort to be here. I welcome the Mazda MX-5 group from Wollongong, the Illawarra group, and our president, Senya. Thank you for coming up, and you initiated this event. I thank the family for being here. I know how hard it is for you to be here to celebrate Ian's life. Thank you for coming. We are privileged to have you here and honoured. Thank you. To the veterans, welcome. And to everybody else, again, welcome. I'll just pass on to Teresa Tran, the president of the Illawarra Vietnamese community, to have a few words to you before we start.
Good morning, dear Vietnam veterans and families, the family of I.J. Thomson, Mr. Tony Cox, organizing committee of the virtual ceremony today, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Vietnamese community in Australia, Wollongong chapter, and around the world, we wish to express our deep gratitude to all the Vietnam veterans and their family. Today, we gather here to pay special tribute to I.J. Thomson, who was killed in 1968 during the service in Vietnam and who lay at this memorial. More than 60,000 Australians served in Vietnam, and over 3,000 were wounded, and 523 lost their life. We are forever grateful to the soldier, personnel, and their family for paying the ultimate supreme sacrifice. It is our duty to pay tribute to all the Vietnam veterans and their family for the sacrifice they made so that us, the Vietnamese people, were able to enjoy the freedom and democracy within those 10 years when the Australian Army was present in Vietnam, 1962, 1972, and complete withdrawal in 1973. This month in April marked the 49th anniversary of the fall of Vietnam to the Communists, the Black April 1975. The Communists took away our freedom and democracy. They demolished church, temple, and military cemeteries. They put millions of people into concentration camps, including my father, killed and tortured them day and night for several years. Many did not return home. Those who survived were mentally and physically scared for the rest of their life. Thousands of civilians were killed or buried alive by the Viet Cong. What happened to us should never be forgotten and must never happen again. The exodus of millions of Vietnamese were forced to escape the regime. Never in the history of Vietnam, even during the Great Famine, the French and the Japanese colonial occupation, no one had ever decided to escape the country. But yet, when the Communists invaded the South in 1975, 2 million of Vietnamese refugees made a dangerous escape to the sea by boat and by walking to the nearest border to escape from the brutal regime, including my family. 49 years today, Vietnam still very much a dictatorial and oppressive regime. Freedom and democracy are non-existent. This justified the presence of the Australian Army in Vietnam was for the right and just cause. The Australian involvement in the Vietnam War will never be forgotten, and we will always remember those men and women who gave their life for our freedom. And for as long as we live, and regardless whether the Australian Army and personnel was conscripted or enlisted to go to Vietnam on their free will, we have a responsibility and duty to remember their sacrifice along with the soldiers and personnel from the Army of the Republic of Vietnam who served and died defending for our freedom and democracy. Vietnam veterans and their family, we are forever grateful to your sacrifice. The Vietnam veteran, you are forever our heroes, and we will always remember you for many generations to come. Your sacrifice will forever be in our heart, lest we forget.
Ladies and gentlemen, in November 1993, an unknown soldier from the battlefields of France was interred into the tomb of the unknown soldier located in the Australian War Memorial, a revered monument representing all soldiers killed in war. Until the Vietnam conflict, Australian soldiers killed in all wars were interned where they fell or were buried in Malaya or elsewhere. Public outrage during the Vietnam War caused a change in policy, and many soldiers were then brought home to be buried. Today we have the privilege and the honour of observing this vigil at the tomb of a known soldier. Now we will tell the story of Ian. Eddie? Yep.
First off, on behalf of the Thomson family, I'd like to thank you all for coming. Ian was born. Oh. Ed. Sorry. No.
I'll probably be just as bad. 2786038. Private Ian James Thomson. Killed in action 19th October 1968. Ian was born in Albury, New South Wales. 19th December 1945. Ted and Nancy Thomson, who was right hand side of Ian. While Ted was waiting, discharged from the army at the end of World War II. Ian was the eldest brother of Wendy in the red, Eddie, sorry mate, Eddie, myself and Nancy. Ian attended Thomson Primary School, followed by Picton High School where his favourite subject was metalwork. After finishing school, Ian became an apprentice fitting and machining trade. Hang on. Sorry.
Don't apologise.
After finishing school, became an apprentice fitting and machining at Sydney with Davies and Shepherd gear cutters. He also continued training as a toolmaker during his apprenticeship. Ian was an active member of the Citizens Military Force, the CMF, during his apprenticeship. Ian was called up for national service, but deferred his starting date so he could finish his apprenticeship. Those days it was a 5-year apprenticeship, not 4. Ian loved the game of cricket with his mates, also loved motor cars and steam engines, having a number of model steam engines. Ian's first car was a second-hand two-tone blue FC Holden sedan. After a few years he saved up for a new 1966 VW Beetle. Nicknamed Tomo or Stretch, Ian was a generous man by nature and had concern and empathy for all. But he's also a larrikin. He liked nothing more than play practical jokes and be on the receiving end of one in return. He'd roll jaffers down the aisles at the movies, would be first to jump off the highest rock at a waterhole and be the first to ask a girl at a dance. After completing his apprenticeship, Ian went to Kapooka, based near Wagga, for his basic training. Yeah.
After Ian's training, Ian was sent to South Vietnam. He was assigned to the 7th Battalion Royal Australian Regiment from mid-November to mid-December 1967, and then to Headquarters, 1st Australian Task Force, until April 68. And then Ian was then reassigned to serve with the 3rd Battalion Royal Australian Regiment. He joined 2 Platoon A Company. Heavy fighting took place during the Tet Offensive at the beginning of 1968, followed by a mini-Tet in May and again in June. Were involved in a series of gruelling, lengthy operations aimed at destroying enemy units in Phuoc Tuy province and driving them from their remote bases and sanctuaries. This was designed to give the Australians better control over the province through their planned security and pacification program. Operation Capital commenced on the 12th of October 1968 in the northeastern Tich district of the province. It was a gruelling operation, patrolling daily through difficult terrain, including dense jungle and ceaseless rain. It was a multi-battalion operation of increasing intensity, supported by the US infantry and armour. Most clashes with the Viet Cong were intermittent, fleeting contacts and occasional intense actions, usually involving attacks on enemy bunkers. Enemy parties ranged from small groups to an estimated full company size, but when they sensed an advantage, the Viet Cong would stay and fight. After one brief contact on the morning of the 19th of October, Ian's 2nd Platoon was attacked by a company-sized enemy force using at least 3 machine guns and rocket-propelled grenades. Ian Thomson was on the heavy M60 machine gun with his mate, Lance Corporal Paul Van Rizzowick. They quickly went to ground on the left flank and responded, pouring fire back into the Viet Cong and keeping this larger enemy force from overrunning the platoon. Their accurate machine gun fire was causing the enemy to concentrate their attention on the pair, and soon the enemy rocket-propelled grenades were directed into the trees above them, raining down shrapnel and splinters, seriously wounding both men. Despite this, Paul and Ian were able to indicate that both he and Ian were still in the fight. With bravery and determination, they continued firing on the enemy. Platoon Commander 2nd Lieutenant Peter Fraser called in artillery fire on the Viet Cong positions, and soon shells were exploding just metres in front of the Australians. But then another volley of rocket-propelled grenades landed close by Ian and Paul, and they were hit again. 2 of their comrades, Private Jensen and Blazer, were able to crawl over to them. And between them, they managed to drag Ian and Paul to a safer position. First aid was given, but Paul died soon afterwards. With the help of 2 American helicopter gunships that put down suppressing fire, the platoon managed to withdraw to the relative safety of the company position. Ian, badly wounded but still alive, was carried out on a stretcher, but soon after arriving he too passed away. After 4 hours, the Viet Cong broke contract and withdrew, leaving behind 7 dead. Private Kevin Booth, who took over a section as section commander, was awarded the military medal for his actions on that day. He later said that the medal belongs to the whole section and paid particular tribute to the 2 machine gunners, Ian and Paul, who held their position under heavy fire despite being wounded. They had undoubtedly saved the platoon from being overrun by a superior force and had saved many of their mates' lives. Ian's body was brought home and he was laid to rest in the hometown of Belmy. He was 22 years of age when he was killed in action, and only 12 days remaining on his tour of duty in Vietnam. His name is listed on the Australian War Memorial Roll of Honour among the other 520 other Australians who died while serving in Vietnam. And this story is a story of service and sacrifice told by the Australian War Memorial during his last post ceremony on the 21st of November 2020. We now remember Ian James Thomson, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and for the hope of a better world. I now ask if anybody has a wreath, would they like to place that wreath onto the grave? Senia, have you got your... Has anybody got anything else that might up and down? Okay. We'll now have the ode, the last post, the minute silence, and then Rouse.
Shall grow not old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them, lest we forget.
Thank you.
Just before we conclude with the national anthem, I cannot, what's the word? I have empathy, and I could not understand the grief and the despair that would have occurred the moment that Ian's parents heard of his death. To his parents, and to Harry, and to Eddie, and to Nancy. That night occurred such a long time ago, but as you saw today, that same day has not left them. It is still with them. The grief has not dissipated, and the loss has been felt over all these years. Ian did not have an opportunity to have a life like us. We have had an opportunity to get married and have children and got grandchildren, and we've had a little bit of fun with cars and things like that, and we've lived a life. But Ian didn't get that opportunity. He gave his life for the freedom of others. I suspect that all soldiers, when they go to war, have a kind of fatalistic approach. We don't want to die, we don't want to get wounded. It's not going to be us, it's going to be somebody else, but at the same time, we accept that it may happen. And when it does, it is a tragedy, and it's felt by everybody, and the pain does not go away after all these years for all the guys that were killed in Vietnam and the ones that we experienced while we were there. So I'm glad that we've had the opportunity today to find out about Ian and know who he was, and I'm pleased that the Mazda group especially, you had no idea, but now you know. We have not forgotten Ian, and we won't ever forget Ian.
Goodbye, sea.
announcement.
Okay. As a family, we'd really appreciate your effort today coming up to observe this and that. Your brother in, still raw. You're all most welcome to come back to the RSL Hall for a morning tea, and you've probably noticed all these flags, small flags through the cemetery that say local school St Anthony's down in Picton. All the children who come up usually a few days before Anzac Day every year, place them through the cemetery of ex-service people, which is very good. They also do down in Picton Cemetery. They usually stay here for about a week. So again, I'd like to thank everybody for coming, and all the best and have a safe trip. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Nick. All right, for the Mazda group, we are going to the RSL Hall, which is just across there, the other side of the railway. Yeah, you go down to the roundabout that we came through, you turn left, you go over the railway line, first left, and then first right, and that's where the RSL Hall is. And you can park in the car park if you wish. I have directions written down for you if you want to take the directions with you. Teresa, where are you? Thank you very much for coming up from Wollongong and doing what you did. It's a pleasure to have you here, and we feel your words. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our service. Thank you very much.